and welcome to WizeTRADE University. I'm your host, Tony Marino. WizeTRADE University is dedicated to bringing you 1 full hour of training each and every day to help you become a more successful trader. Today, we're joined by market strategist and CommandTRADE pioneer, Derek Seek. Today, he will be talking to you and demonstrating the fully automated CommandTRADE system. All right, well, we will be taking some calls and emails as well. To get your question to us, 1-866-WTV-WISE with a Z. That's 1-866-988-9493. Or you can just send your question, trader@wizetradetv.com. So let's get right to it. Hello, Derek.
How are you?
All right, how are you, my friend?
Doing excellent, my friend.
You are one of the pioneers of CommandTRADE system.
Yeah, you know, I was lucky enough to join the CommandTRADE team very early on. So I worked directly under Nick Praglia, the product manager for CommandTRADE, and you know, I've been here since the beginning. So.
And what is it exactly that we're talking about today as far as CommandTRADE?
Well, first and foremost, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure everyone's on the same page with exactly what is CommandTRADE. And, you know, this is our very first opportunity on WizeTRADE University. So this lesson is probably going to be relatively basic. We're going to touch on all the major functions within the software. And then sometime in our later lessons, we're going to go into some really neat strategy building, things of that nature. But at first, we'll probably just touch on the functionality of the software. And then from there, probably during the second half of the show, we might build some strategies, get into the rule generator for the very first time, and give you guys a peek at that.
All right, and as we mentioned, calls and emails as well.
Sure.
Since the WizeTRADE University is new, today was actually my first day to tour the campus. Man, it's fabulous, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What a football stadium. All right, so let's get going.
Sure. The best place to start is make sure we all have a good, solid working definition as to just what exactly is CommandTRADE. And to me, to most of us at home, back in the office, CommandTRADE is real simple. It's the evolution of global tech. It's the evolution of our trading technology. We represent the apex of what we've learned from years and years and years of being in the business. You know, it all started with George Thompson and his algorithm. And now where have we gone? We've gone to fully automated trading. Now it's George Thompson's algorithm that's still providing the timing. Now through recent technology advances, you know what? CommandTRADE can actually take the action for you. So what we're talking about is fully automated trading. Just to kind of give you a picture, you pick a stock, you pick a strategy, you turn it on. Once you've turned that strategy on, you can literally turn off your computer and walk away. At that point in time, the CommandTRADE servers are responsible for watching your stock, watching the conditions of your strategy, and seamlessly moving you into and out of the market based on the conditions of your strategy. So
set it and forget it, as we like
absolutely,
to say. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I mean, what we're going to be talking about a lot is some of the predefined strategies. These are things that you guys are all real familiar with. You know, these are the things that Kip, Carl, George, they've been teaching you for years and years and years and years. All we've done is simply automate that process entirely, from entry point to exit point, seamlessly moving you into the market and out of the market. And the benefits of this automated trading, you know, are nearly endless. One, hey, you got a trading partner. All right. Say, for example, you are that active day trader and you're in front of your computer all day. Well, you know what? You can only watch maybe 1-2 stocks at a time. Well, with CommandTRADE, you have the benefit of watching 20 plus. Okay. Additionally, hey, we all know, especially after watching Mark Douglas the other day, we all know that emotions can be a part of this game. Okay. Just is always going to be there. Well, with CommandTRADE and talking about a fully automated system, well, we take emotions out of the game entirely. So, you know, CommandTRADE feels no fear. It feels no greed. You know, it's just going to seamlessly move you into and out of the market based on the conditions of your strategy. So it's really cool stuff. And I think throughout the course of our conversation today, you're really going to get a good starting point for CommandTRADE. And then later on, through different WizeTRADE University shows, we'll go into a little bit more detail and get a little higher up in the level there.
Okay. All right. Great.
So what do you say we start at the very beginning? The very beginning would be the overview screen. So let's go into the software right here, and immediately, as a global tech customer, you're seeing something that's familiar to you. You're seeing red lights, you're seeing green lights. A lot of the features and functions that we're going to touch on the overview screen are going to be really familiar to you. There's going to be familiar functionality there. And guys, we did that on purpose so that the transition from manual trading to automated trading would be a quick, easy painless transition. The very first time you log into the CommandTRADE software, you're going to see things that you're already familiar with. You're going to see buttons, and you already know exactly what those buttons do. So again, that familiarity, we did that on purpose. Reason being is so we can transition you from manual trading, the old-fashioned way, to automated trading. And again, it'll be a quick, easy, painless transition.
Well, I see the red and green lights,
Sure.
which obviously looks familiar. I see that there's 8 of them.
Yes, there is.
Which is familiar. I see the interval button at the end there, which I assume allows me to change the time intervals on those lights. So, so far it all looks familiar, and like with any trading platform, you got the open, the high, the low, and the last.
Absolutely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through this overview screen, and we're going to touch on some of the other screens that are available within the software. So let's start at the very beginning, top right-hand corner of the screen where you see your Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500. These 3 indices act as our market's overall barometer. At quick glance, we can see how the markets are faring. Now, right now, because the market is closed, we're looking at closing information. However, if the market's open, these indices update in real time, so you know exactly what the markets are doing. Okay. One thing I do want to tell you, hey, this is a brand new account. The account that you and I are logged in here today, it's a brand new account. And the reason it's a brand new account is because, you know what, when you take it out of the box for the very first time, you install your software for the very first time, this is what it's going to look like. So, I didn't want a bunch of stuff in this account that could get confusing. So let's go back to the software here again. Directly above the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500, you're going to see realized P&L. Realized P&L, that stands for realized profit and losses. Those are trades that have been closed by CommandTRADE and the profit and or loss that was generated by those trades. So what we're talking about, in essence, are chips that we've taken off the table, so to speak. Is that for the day, or is that going to be It's going to be for the day. Okay. Going to be for the day. Okay. Directly to the left of that, you'll see unrealized P&L. Well, those are trades that we're still in. CommandTRADE is still actively managing these trades for me. So the exit conditions haven't rung true as of yet. When we're in the market, those figures will update in real time. When the market's closed, again, you'll see your closing unrealized P&L. So real simple stuff there. Directly below that is that Global Tech News. That launches the Global Tech streaming news application. So for those of you that, really... Which, again, we're familiar with. Sure. If you're, a WizeTrader or a forexer or a WizeTrade for options person. Absolutely. Myself, I'm not a big news trader. There are certain news events that I do trade in and around, but I'm not one of the guys that sits there and constantly monitors the news as it comes in. A lot of traders are. I have no problem with that whatsoever. If you are one of those news traders, you got that Global Tech streaming news application right there. Not only are you able to create custom watch lists, meaning that, if I'm really interested in this handful of stocks, deliver me that news in real time. I can also create it or set it up so that I'm getting general market news delivered to me in real time. So again, your top right-hand corner of the screen, you've got your indices updating in real time when the market's open. Your realized P&L, those are chips CommandTRADE's taken off the table. Your unrealized P&L, trades that are still in play. And then, of course, directly below that is your streaming news application. I'm going to keep moving on here to the left-hand side of the screen. Well, you know what? This is going to be our symbol row, okay? Basically, what do? Well, you type in a ticker symbol. Say, for example, your buddy's telling you about Yahoo, or you read a news story about Yahoo, maybe in the Wall Street Journal or whatever. Type in the ticker symbol, hit enter on your keyboard, and what happens? A series of red lights and green lights come back. These red lights and green lights are trend indicators. Red lights indicating that, that stock is heading lower over that given time period. Green lights indicating, hey, that stock is heading higher over that given time period. So for the most part, we type in Yahoo, we see pretty much solid red lights across the board. Hey, we know there's a lot of sellers out there. Okay, and based on the rules of demand and supply, this stock is probably going to be heading lower. Why? Again, there are more sellers than there are buyers. Now, behind each one of these light indicators or these trend indicators resides that algorithmic chart. Again, guys, this is the exact same chart you guys are used to. That green line represents demand or buying pressure. Red line represents supply or selling pressure. When these lines intersect, hey, that's when we know there's been a change in the trend. Okay, that's when we know it's time to take action. So in this example right here, hey, you know what? That green line moves to the top of the red line. That's when we're typically looking to buy. Red line moves to the top of the green line. Sellers are now in control. Supply is now in control, and the stock moves lower. Now, one thing that's really cool about CommandTRADE is that, these charts are a lot more customizable. anytime you want to customize something, you do so by right-clicking within the field. What I'm going to do is I'm going to expand the view here. Now, you guys are used to traditionally looking at approximately 20 intervals. So in this case, we'd be looking at 20 months of historic data. Well, by right-clicking inside, going to intervals, and selecting 50, I'm now looking at 50 months of historic data, or nearly 5 years. So you get more information. More information is available at your fingertips, and we all know information is power. So, you know, what I do is I like the 50 interval view. I can find support levels, I can find resistance levels, and I get a bigger overall picture as to where the stock has been and potentially where it's going. So, again, anytime you want to customize, do so by right-clicking, and you'll have options to customize the software.
Yeah, and we talked about this a little bit in regards to earnings. If you have the, you know, 5 years worth of information, you can pretty much go back and pinpoint each time that there was an earnings report and get a much better feel for what the stock has done.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I'm going to go ahead and close out of these charts because, again, we got a lot of information to cover. Let's move to the lower left-hand corner of the screen. There's our sort button. That sort button pretty much does what the name implies. It just allows you to sort the stocks in the manner that makes the most sense for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on sort, and let's say, for example, that I don't know, let's look at the stock with the green lights. That seems to make the most sense. So I'm going to take this CL, and I'm going to move it up to the very top of the screen, and I'm going to save it. What happens? Hey, CL is brought to the top of the screen. You know, that might be an important stock to me. Basically, the sort function allows you to order the stocks in the manner that makes the most sense for you. Again, not a whole lot of new functionality there. Remember, we did that on purpose. We wanted the very first time you logged into the software for you to feel at home, feel comfortable, see things that you're familiar with. I'm going to keep moving on here. Directly to the right of that sort function is baskets. Let's get a good definition of what a basket is. A basket is a collection or a grouping of stocks. Maybe, for example, you're creating baskets off the WizeTRADE radar list. Maybe you're reading different newsletters and you're creating baskets of stocks based in and around those newsletters. Well, the baskets function is pretty much the same there. You can create a watch list, say, for example, of the stocks on the radar that were featured today. The cool thing about CommandTRADE, when I click on baskets over here and expand this folder, you're going to see there's predefined baskets. These predefined baskets are something that comes shipped with the software, ready to go. Pretty much every industry, every sector is represented here. These stocks that populate the basket are based off of market capitalization, so they're going to be the big boys out there in that particular industry or that particular sector.
So if I go to like aerospace and defense or apparel stores, they're already in there?
Absolutely. So,
oh, that's awesome, because it takes an awful lot of time, you know, to do that on your own.
No doubt about it.
I mean, I kind of have some of my baskets set up like that, you know, with retail issues, airlines, stuff like that.
I mean, the thing is that, say, for example, you see a stock in a particular sector that's really moving and grooving. Well, what do? Well, look at the rest of the stocks in that sector. Chances are other stocks are rallying as well. Great example of that is going to be that shipping sector that we've been talking about for so long. You know, dry ships took off. What happened? All the other stocks in that sector or in that industry rallied. So approximately 60 or 70 baskets here for you. Guys, if you don't know where to get started, I would say, hey, poke around through those baskets. A couple baskets that I do want to point out here real quickly. I'm going to scroll down just so you guys can see at home how many baskets there are, but there's a couple really, really cool baskets over here. Just scrolling through, and the ones that I'm looking for are some of the ones that you've heard us talk about before, the ones that we do time-based attacks on. This gold basket, obviously, you know what, all those commodity-based baskets have been on fire. I'm looking for major oil and gas. And then there's another one out here, oil and gas pipelines, oil and gas drilling. All these we do time-based attacks on. I'm sure you've heard Kevin talk about his oil destroyer. What happens? Well, every Wednesday they release petroleum status numbers. We know exactly when they release the information. We know it's going to move the market. We know it's going to move those stocks. We just don't know which direction. So we create a time-based strategy that only activates when that news is released. You know, if those lights go green and are strong up, guess what? CommandTRADE's got you long. Vice versa, those lights go down sharp and they're red. Guess what? CommandTRADE's shorting that stock for you. So time-based attacks, we'll probably do a lesson on that in the future. But I did just want to show you, hey, the baskets are here for you. There's about 60 baskets, all sectors, all industries pretty much represented here. And again, the stocks that populate these baskets are based off of market capitalization. We try to update these baskets every quarter or so. All right, let's keep moving. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this basket.
I love that feature, though.
Oh, yeah. It's
whosever idea that was, Derek, great idea.
Well, I appreciate it. Directly to the right, your interval manager.
Okay, I mean, it takes a long time to organize yourself like that.
You're not kidding me. It's literally about a week, 2-week-long project that we do that. So here we go. Let's go back in the software, interval manager. Hey, you know what? Basically, interval manager, it provides templates for whatever your trade style, okay? Again, you'll see those predefined templates. They're in there within the software. So whether you're a position trader, intermediate trader, swing trader, active trader, or that super active trader, you know what? There's a custom light template built for you. So no matter your trade style, guess what? CommandTRADE's built for you. So there's your interval manager, and of course you can create custom interval settings, so on and so forth. Again, a lot of the features, functionalities on this page are designed to make you feel comfortable the very first time you log into the software. I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of the interval manager. Nothing, a whole heck of a lot new there. And let's keep moving forward here.
Yeah, and if you've used any of the other global tech products, you're familiar with all of this.
No doubt about it. But this is the part that gets really excited. This is the part where we can start talking about fully automated trading and some of the features and functionality that you're not familiar with. So what we're going to do is we're going to go straight into the software, and I want you to watch my mouse. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go up to this stock that has the green lights, and do you see that little S right there? I'm circling it with my mouse. That little S stands for strategy. What is a strategy? A strategy is a game plan for entering the trade and a game plan for exiting the trade. CommandTRADE automates that process entirely. Okay, so I'll say that again. This little S stands for strategy. What is a strategy? It is a game plan for entering the trade, a game plan for exiting the trade. CommandTRADE automates that process. When I click on this little gray S, the strategy pop-up window appears. And it's basically asking me at this point, hey, what type of strategy do you want to use? There are 3 different types of strategies. The predefined strategies, those are the ones that are shipped in the box, ready to go. These are the strategies that George, Thompson, Kip, Carl, and the rest of the crew have literally been teaching our customers for years and years and years. You know, that's the good, solid, long-term trend, good, solid, midterm trend, fresh cross on the day type of strategy, okay? Below the predefined strategies, you're going to see community strategies. Community strategies are strategies that CommandTRADE users from literally all over the globe, all walks of life, are creating and sharing with each other. All right? So what you're going to find in the community are going to be like your fade the gaps, fill the gaps, your Charlene's methodologies, so on and so forth. Below that community...
And various kinds of them. Everybody around the country or the world, like you said, that has taken an existing strategy and tweaked it their own way.
Yep, and then
you might have Joe's Charlene's.
You're absolutely right. You're
yeah.
absolutely right. Below that community, you're going to find user-defined strategies. A user-defined strategy is a strategy that you've created entirely on your own, or maybe you've taken an existing strategy, just modified it, tweaked it a little bit to better fit your trading style. Now, for the sake of our conversation here this evening, we're going to talk about predefined strategies, specifically swing trade long. I find that the majority of our customers like swing trading. They hop into stocks for a handful of days, get that move, make their money, and they're out of the trade. So follow me along. I'm going to open up the predefined folder, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a strategy, and there it is, swing trade long. Now, you'll notice that when I click on the strategy or highlight the strategy, a complete strategy description appears. You know, it's really important that you read these strategy descriptions. Make sure they're in line with your investment goals, all right? You don't want to be looking at a position trade when you're a day trader, or vice versa. You don't want to be looking at day trading strategies when you're a position trader. So make sure you read these strategy descriptions. Well, you know, we're pretty much all familiar with the swing trade long, good solid long-term, good solid midterm, fresh cross on the day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and load this strategy. Anytime you load a strategy, a standard risk disclaimer appears. It's basically telling you, hey, paper trade. Make sure you understand what the strategy is doing. Make sure the strategy is in line with your investment goals. Well, you know what? That makes sense to me, so I'm going to go ahead and click OK there.
Now, and you just mentioned the Charlene strategy, which I imagine there's predefined Charlene strategies?
No, with the predefined, we went specifically for George Thompson type of methodologies. You know, where you have that good solid long-term trend, good solid midterm trend, fresh cross on the day. We had a conversation about it, and we decided that, you know what, ultimately Charlene was a customer of ours,
right?
And ultimately that type of strategy belongs out there in the community.
Okay, so that's on the community.
Sure thing.
Okay.
So here we are. There's Colgate, ticker symbol CL. What did we do? Well, we attached the swing trade long strategy to that stock. All right, guys, it's at this point that I'm literally one click away from putting my account on cruise control. I'm one click away from being on autopilot here. All I need to do is click that off button to on. As soon as that thing says on, I can literally turn off my computer and walk away. When the conditions of the strategy ring true, when that fresh cross on the day develops, so on and so forth, CommandTRADE is going to seamlessly move me into the market. From there, CommandTRADE is going to immediately start monitoring the exit. Okay, so again, we're on autopilot, we're on cruise control. We can turn off the computer and walk away. But you know what? Before we do that, there's always that nagging what if question that kind of lurks over our head. That what if I had this strategy turned on yesterday? What if I had this strategy turned on 2 days ago, a week ago, 2 weeks ago? What would have happened? Would there have been any trades? Would those trades have been winners? Would they have been losers? And I want to answer those questions. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go and we're going to do a back test. Back testing uses historic market data, okay, and throws it through the global tech algorithm, throws it through George Thompson's algorithm, and it looks for entry points based on that historic data. So backtesting answers all those what-if questions. So follow me along in the software here. I'm going to turn the strategy off because you know what? I don't want to turn it on quite yet. What I want to do is I want to make sure the strategy historically partners well with this stock.
So in layman's terms, you're going to go back and see what would have happened if you had this strategy applied to this stock issue.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and do that. Follow my mouse. Do you see that little green?
Like in the CommandTRADE time machine.
Sure.
This is cool stuff.
See that little green B? That little green B stands for backtest. Backtesting, remember, answers all those questions we had, those what-if questions. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that green B, and you'll notice that when I do that, the main backtest screen is going to appear. I'm going to go ahead and maximize it so it's a little bit easier for you guys to see at home. Again, I know the very first time you look at this, it looks a little intimidating. There's not the red light, there's not the green lights that we're used to, but I promise you, follow me along, and in no time you'll be back testing. I promise you that. So follow me along. Top right-hand corner of the screen, we got that Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 rolling by. Again, you know, as the market's open, these numbers update in real time because the market's closed. Guess what? We're looking at those closing figures. Directly to the left, you'll see the name of our strategy, Swing Trade Long. All right, that strategy's already been populated in the backtest screen. Also, you'll notice that stock has already been populated in the backtest screen as well. Ticker symbol CL. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the ingredients of this strategy. Follow me down here to where we see long rules. Long rules are the conditions or clauses that must ring true in order for CommandTRADE to send an order to the paper trade engine or in order to send an order to the integrated broker-dealer. So here we are, our long rules. And hopefully we can expand this area right down here so we can see all those long rules. And I'm going to go ahead and describe exactly what this strategy does, okay? First and foremost, the first condition or clause in this strategy says last is greater than or equal to 5. All right? So what that means is that this strategy will not trade a stock under $5. Directly below that, you're going to see the clock. The clock is greater than or equal to 15. Well, we tend to talk about the market in terms of market minutes. The very first minute of trading is market minute 1. The very last minute of trading is market minute 390. So what this clause is saying is, hey, don't trade the first 15 minutes. Let the dust settle and then start looking for trading opportunities. Below that, you're going to see that green line and that red line, okay? And this is specific for the long-term trend. So on the long-term trend, we got to have green line over red line, and those lines have to be heading up and at least a mild degree or better. So we've got good strength on the long-term trend there. Midterm trend, same story.
Same thing.
Green line over red line, heading up and at least a mile degree or better. So we know there's some strength there. We know that there's buyers there, good trends. Short term, that's got to be a green fresh cross. So your daylight has to be a green fresh cross. Your 90-minute green line over red line, heading up and at least a mile degree or better. And then you combine that with a fresh look, a fresh peek on that 10-minute window. And guess what? That's when the conditions of your strategy ring true. That's when CommandTRADE's sending the order for you.
All right, so that's the parameters that are set in that strategy.
Absolutely.
So once you set the strategy or turn it on, that's essentially what it's looking for.
You're absolutely right. So all these conditions, all these clauses must ring true. When they do, boom, that's when the order is being sent off to your brokerage firm. So we've now looked at the long rules, the rules associated with purchasing the stock in hopes that it appreciates in value. What we're now going to do is look at the short rules, the rules associated with short selling a stock. That means I'm selling a stock, hoping that it falls in value, buy it back a little bit later, and I get to pocket that money. So let's go ahead and take a peek at the short rules. Well, in this situation,
CommandTRADE, by the way, is the only product that has the backtest menu, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Short rules here. Guys, this area is completely and totally blank. Okay? That means there are no short rules. This is what we call a one-sided strategy. Now, I always get the question here, hey, could I create a two-sided strategy? Could I create a strategy that's going long the market and then a few minutes later going short the market? Absolutely, you can. This predefined strategy, though, is a one-sided strategy. It trades one side of the market. It only goes long. Again, for you day traders, man, you could create strategies that are going long, 10 minutes later going short, going long, short, so on and so forth, all day long. Now, when we come back after the break, we're going to go back over the long rules, and then we're going to start talking about exit rules, how CommandTRADE uses this technology to exit trades.
And you mentioned, you know, going long and going short, and we know that that's what a lot of active traders will do.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
As you always say, if it's something that you're doing, we can automate it.
No doubt. If you can replicate it, we can automate it. There's just no doubt about it.
All right. So still a lot more to look at on the other side of this break. As Derek mentioned, also we have some emails, so we'll try and run through some of those for you. If you have a question, you can email us, trader@WizeTRADETV.com. Quick break and we're back. All right, welcome back to another special training edition here at WizeTRADE University. I'm Tony Marino alongside Derek Seek. Today's training segment on CommandTRADE. And let's jump right back into it, Derek.
Sure. So, you know, before the break, what did we do? We found a stock. It has green lights. It was one of the stocks that was featured on the radar, ticker symbol CL. We decided that we were wanting to do a swing trade on that potentially. We loaded the strategy, and then what did we do? Well, we took it into the backtest screen. Why did we take it into the backtest screen? Well, remember, we had those what-if questions. What if I had this strategy turned on a few days ago? Would there have been any trades? Would those trades have been profitable? So on and so forth. So let's go back to the backtest screen. I'm going to go ahead and minimize the overview. There's our backtest screen, our strategy, swing trade long, our ticker symbol CL. Remember, we went over the long rules. The conditions are clauses that must ring true in order for this strategy to execute. The last is greater than or equal to $5. The strategy does not execute on a stock under $5. The clock is greater than or equal to 15. Remember, this strategy will not trade the first 15 minutes of the market. It's going to wait for the dust to settle. Long-term trend, real solid long-term trend, green line over red line, heading up in at least a mile degree or better. Midterm trend, same thing. Green line over red line, heading up in at least a mile degree or better. You got that fresh new look on the short-term day, a solid 90, and there's your fresh 10, okay? So those are your long rules, the rules that have to ring true in order for you to execute a trade.
I have one question for you on behalf of the viewers. I noticed there's nothing in there about volume. if I wanted to say, like, I want this strategy, but only on stocks that trade over 600,000 or 700,000 or a million shares.
Absolutely.
I can do that, right?
No doubt about it.
Okay.
No doubt about it. These clauses are easy to create, easy to bring right into your strategies. Maybe if we have some time, we'll do that a little bit later on here. So these are our long rules. Remember, from the long rules, we went and took a peek at our short rules, and we said, hey, there aren't any. It's a one-sided strategy. This strategy only goes long the market. Could you create that dual-sided strategy, a strategy that can both go long and short? Yeah, absolutely. Could that strategy do that all day long, both on the long side and the short side, all day, over and over and over again? Sure thing. This strategy, however, only trades the long side of the market. Let's go to the exit rules now. And this is something that's just really, really awesome. CommandTRADE uses a patent-pending technology called a targeted trailing stop. A targeted trailing stop combines the benefits of a stop loss, which is your downside protection. Mm-hmm. It then sets a profit target, which is your goal in the trade. Once you've reached that profit target, CommandTRADE doesn't just take you out of the trade. Why? Because that's not maximizing profits. Remember the golden rule to investing? Minimize losses, maximize gains. Well, the stop loss portion of that targeted trailing stop is helping you minimize the loss. By setting a profit target and then kicking in a trailing stop when that profit target is reached, we're going to help you maximize gains. So as that stock continues to move in your favor, your trail goes up penny by penny by penny by penny.
Am I correct in saying there isn't anybody else in the world that does that?
You're right. It's a targeted trailing stop. The targeted trailing stop resides on the CommandTRADE servers, which means your broker doesn't see them, which means the market maker doesn't see them, which means the specialist doesn't see them. They are completely invisible. So if you've ever felt like, hey, as soon as I put a stop loss in, that market maker said, oh, Tony, you got a stop loss here at $25.50. Let me take it right down to $25.50,
right.
And then I'm going to rip that thing right back up.
Right.
Well, guess what? You know, these stops are held server-side. No one sees them. They're on the server, completely invisible to your broker, your market maker, your specialist.
Not only that, but just the targeted trailing stop itself. At some point in time, everyone has had the frustration of trying to put in a stop loss and maybe a limit order at the same time, which most brokers don't let you do that. You know, and then even if you do that, which generally you can, but you say, okay, I'm going to go in, stock's moving up, I'm going to go in and put my limit order in. And then, you get limited out. You have to manually go back in if you want. Okay, well, it didn't hit my limit, so now I'm going to go in, I'm going to put a trailing stop in. Those are all things you have to do manually, all things that a lot of people can't do because, they may be at work or doing whatever. And a lot of times you just get limited out, and if you had a trailing stop in there, you would have made more money.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. If that's not cool enough, the technology actually gets cooler. The targeted
can it possibly get cooler?
The targeted trailing stop doesn't just randomly make up numbers and say, okay, well, my stop should be here, my target should be here, my trail should be here. The targeted trailing stop is going to use a system based on the stock's volatility. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the stock's volatility in order to determine where should a stop be set, where should a target be set, so on and so forth. So a targeted trailing stop, that's what we're using to exit trades. The technology is designed to help you minimize losses, maximize your gains. The technology is designed to protect you both on the downside while giving you that upside profit potential, all while you're out at work or, out playing golf, doing whatever.
Someone who has never traded before may not realize right now the incredible value of what you're saying. But for anybody that has trading experience, to really listen to what Derek is saying, I mean, this is phenomenal.
Oh, I'm sure at home some light bulbs are going off and saying, wait a minute. Not only is my downside protected, but I still have that upside profit potential.
Right.
And not only when my profit goal is reached, I'm not just taken out of the trade. Because so many times you come home, you turn on your computer, hey, you made a profitable trade, but then that stock went up another $3, $4.
Right.
Well, you know what? With us, you're going to kick in a trailing stop. You're still going to have the opportunity to profit as that stock rises. I know I went off on a tangent there. I apologize. Why the heck were we in this backtest screen in the first place? Well, remember, we found a stock that had green lights. It was on the radar, WTV's radar. What are we doing? We're saying, hey, should I attach this strategy? Has the strategy historically partnered well with the stock? Had I had the strategy turned on over the last couple days, would we have had any trades? Would they have made any money? So on and so forth. Now let's go back into the software, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume, I don't know, do you want to trade 200 shares? How many shares do you want to trade, Tony?
Let's go with 300.
300 shares. Tony's a high roller. So what I've done is I've said, hey, you know, we're going to simulate that I was trading 300 shares. Let's now go to that back test. I'm going to go back as far as I can here, which is back to the 30th. I'm going to start the back test, and you're going to see that, hey, you know what? It's going to take a minute. What's going on here? Remember, we're pulling historic market data. We're throwing that through the global tech algorithm. We're throwing that through George Thompson's demand-supply algorithm, looking for entry points, looking for exits based on that targeted trailing stop. Check it out. Our back test is complete. Let's go ahead and look at what happened here, okay? Maximum capital, $22,000, little over $22,000, okay? That's $11,000 in a 2-to-1 margin account.
Right.
That $11,000, you know what? You turn on your computer, you sign into CommandTRADE, guess what? CommandTRADE's smiling at you. It's made you 300 bucks. Okay? All on autopilot, all while you were at work or all while you were out playing golf, whatever. Now, a lot of people, this is where they stop in their back testing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back test a step further. You know, I'm impressed this is making money, but what I really want to do is I want to see what did those charts look like. If I was at home at my computer, would I have pulled the trigger as well? Follow me along here. Let's go back and really examine the entry to this trade, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the details section. And in the details section, it's going to give me a minute-by-minute accounting from the time that I enter the trade to the time that I exit the trade. And we're going to see that we entered the trade November the 6th, market minute 370. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back in time to November the 6th, market minute 373, and I'm going to see exactly what those algorithmic charts looked like when this entry took place. So here we are. Go to the charts. Well, first and foremost, let's go back in time to November the 6th. I'm going to use that drop-down calendar. Go to November the 6th. You'll notice that this area right over here changed. This whole area is an intraday price chart. Now what are we looking for? We're looking for market minute 373. That's when the entry took place. I'm going to move over here towards the close, and let's get closer to market minute 373. Here we are. We're on 364. I'm going to go to the chart section here, and this is something that is entirely cool. I'm going to use the arrow key on my keyboard and just move minute by minute by minute, and you can see how the WizeTRADE charts or the global tech charts update minute by minute by minute. Here we are, we're on market minute 373. Look at the long-term trend when this thing executed. Bottom left, top right, extreme strength. Midterm trend, bottom left, top right, extreme strength. Short-term trend, giving us that fresh cross.
Yep.
90, it's solid. 10's giving us a fresh look as well. We go to the long rules here. Everything is ringing true. These are true-false indicators. So when you see green, 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 that means every one of the conditions of your strategy was true. You know what? This is exactly when CommandTRADE put you into that trade. So using historic data, I can tell, hey, you know what? This strategy and this stock seem to partner relatively well with each other. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to the overview screen, turn that strategy on, and you know what? I can turn off my computer and walk away. If that day develops to a fresh cross, along with a solid 90 and a fresh 10, CommandTRADE's just going to move me into the market, all while I'm out doing whatever it is I got to be doing that day. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and minimize the screen, go back to the overview screen, turn that bad boy on, and now at this point, completely hands-free trading, completely on autopilot. Turn off your computer, walk away, let the software move you into and out of the market based on the conditions of your strategy. No emotions, no fear, no greed, just simply moving you into the market and out of the market.
Now, let's say I have that strategy on and I'm at work for the day, or, you know, I'm out playing golf or doing whatever, and I come home. It's possible that strategy got me in and out of that stock more than one time, right?
Sure. You can put in a repeat trade clause saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to be out of town for the next week, so should this stock set itself up on multiple occasions, hey, keep putting me into that trade. You know, if I keep catching fresh crosses on solid long-term trends, put me in the trade again. So really awesome stuff. Again, we're just taking George Thompson's teachings. automating them for you, giving you the power to backtest those strategies against your stocks, and then putting your trading on cruise control, or set it and forget it. So that was the overview screen, our backtest screen. A couple more screens I'm going to run through here real quick. First and foremost, let's hit that Trade Manager. Guys, the Trade Manager, of course, is something that you're going to be extremely familiar with. Remember, this is a brand new account. I think it's only been opened a couple of times, so it's going to be looking a lot like the software looks like the very first time you install it. So open positions, well, you know what? When you're in trades, your open positions will show up here, and it will detail your profit and loss, when you got into the trade, so on and so forth. Trade detail is going to be an accounting of all your trading activity, okay? So if you got into a trade and out of a trade, it's going to list it there in your trade detail. After the trading day is over, that's going to all move into trade history. So here you can just copy, paste, put it into Excel, do whatever you want, but you have a complete accounting of all of your trading activity. Your account details page, it tells you, hey, how much money do you have in your account? When you first get involved with CommandTRADE, we're going to set you up with $100,000 of funny money.
I was just going to say, and I'm happy to see that I have $99,000.
That's right. So again, when you log into your live account, your screen's going to go red, and then you're going to see, hey, your live account information. This right now, this is the monopoly money. This is paper trading, and that's something that I think is really important to do. Whether you're manually trading, automated trading, you got to get used to how it all works. So I definitely encourage you to paper trade. Let's move to the Preferences tab here. Nothing real new and exciting here. You'll probably see a lot of the same stuff you saw in WizeTRADE. The one thing that I do want to point out, something that we didn't know or expect, a lot of option traders have taken a hold of our software. And what they're doing is, if you follow my mouse, do you see where it says Play Order Filled Wave? Well, what they're doing is they have a check mark next to it, and every time CommandTRADE sends an entry or an exit, well, they hear an alert, or they hear some sort of noise, a jingle, whatever. And what they do is they come running in from the other room, and then they place their option trade. So they're using CommandTRADE as an alert-based system. They hear the alert, they run in, and then they start placing their option trades. So we weren't really expecting it, but I've heard a lot of success from people using our software, trading options.
Oh, there you go.
Next screen, account allocation. The account allocation screen is how you tell CommandTRADE to invest your money, okay? Anytime you need help setting this up, please pick up the phone, give us a call. We're more than happy to help you out. That number is 888-348-0023. Again, the account allocation screen just tells you how CommandTRADE is going to invest your money. So real quickly, of my $99,000 or $100,000 of funny money, I'm allocating approximately 10%, or roughly $10,000 per trade. So that's how I've told CommandTRADE to invest my money while I'm out playing golf or doing whatever.
And obviously the account allocation page is very important. So.
Yes, you will need to set this up in your paper trade account and for each one of your live accounts. So make sure this is step number one, set up your account allocation. If you don't set up your account allocation, CommandTRADE's not going to know how to invest your money, so no trades are going to take place, plain and simple. So account allocation, step one there. I'm going to keep moving on over here to strategy status. Your strategy status screen tells you what strategies you have turned on. Well, we turned that strategy on ticker symbol CL. So there it is, you can see on CL, and then over here on the right-hand side of the screen, it's telling me
what the strategy is. So right now we have one strategy on.
Sure, and you get
it's the swing trade long, and it's on one. We have it set on one symbol.
That's right, and you get 20 strategies per account. So say, for example, if you're managing your IRA and you're also managing your wife's IRA, you would have 20 strategies per account. So, you know, in your IRA, you'd have 20 strategies on 20 different stocks, and potentially hers, you might have 20 strategies on 20 different stocks. So, you know, those are the three major screens in the nutshell. The overview screen, backtest screen, Trade Manager. A couple more things that I wanted to talk about. Remember, we said there are three different types of strategies: the predefined, the community, and the user-defined. A user-defined strategy being one that maybe you've created entirely on your own, or maybe one that, you know what, you just modified or tweaked a little bit to better fit your needs. Let's go ahead and make a quick strategy real quick so you can see exactly how to use the rule generator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and minimize the Trade Manager. And you'll notice that we always keep a clean workspace. If we're not using a screen, minimize it, bring it down to the bottom. That way you have a clean workspace there. I'm going to go up to Screens, from screens, rule generator. Again, I know at first this is going to be a little intimidating for you. I think the best thing for us to talk about is just a light-based trading. So I'm going to go to the lights. And what do you say you and I create a real quick, I don't know, swing trading strategy, okay?
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, on my long-term trend, I need that long-term trend to be showing strength. Green line over red line. I'm going to drag it and drop it over. And instead of it being a 2-minute time frame, well, you know what? I really want that to be the long term. Now, do I want the green line and red line to be flat? No. Do I want it to be mild? Well, let's say, for example, I want it to be steep. I want to make sure that I have that strength that we've seen in some of these other real powerful moving stocks. So right now, my long term is heading up in at least a steep degree. So, I mean, that thing is really trucking. Let's go ahead and drag and drop over. Well, we need to get a midterm trend there. So do we want our midterm trend to be flat? No.
No.
Mild? Nope. What do you say we make that one steep as well? Now on a swing trade, what do we need? Well, we need that fresh, solid cross on the day, don't we? So I'm going to go ahead and give it a fresh cross on the short-term trend or the daylight. I also want to make sure there's going to be intraday support. So what I'm going to do is, I don't know, I'll drag it, drop this one over. And do I want it to be a 2, a 3, a 5, a 7, a 10? Let's go ahead and make it a 78. And do I want that 78 to be flat, mild, or steep? Well, you know what? I need to see a lot of strength here, so I'm going to give it a steep degree. And then let's combine that, say, with a fresh cross on, I don't know, maybe a 5-minute window. So do you see how easy it is just using that drag and drop technology to create your strategies? Okay, so we've talked about predefined. We've actually created our own user-defined strategy in the rule generator just using that drag and drop technology. Only one type of strategy we need to talk about next, and that is going to be a community strategy. Community strategies are available on the website for you to download. The really cool thing about community strategies is that we give you the opportunity to rate or rank those strategies after you've used them. From 0 stars to 5 stars. 0 stars meaning, hey, you know what? Obviously, that strategy isn't really that good. 5 stars meaning, hey, someone out there really likes it. Me, personally, the only way I could ever, in a million years, imagine rating a strategy 5 stars if that thing was consistently making solid winning trades, consistently generating profits. So I'm going to go out to the community through the web interface. And here we are now in Strategy Central. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to view all strategies. And from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort them by rating. Okay, right over here. So I'm going to bring all the 5-star strategies to the top of the page. Guys, this is 1 full page of 5 stars. 2 full pages of 5 stars. 3 full pages. And at the 4th page, we're only 4.5 stars. So guys, there are strategies out there that people are using and making money.
Well, it's like you said, you're not going to give it 5 stars unless it's really, really performing for you. And there you have 3 pages of 5-star strategies.
No doubt about it. So if you don't know where to get started, go into the community, look for the strategies that are highly rated, and start using them. Learn how to use them. Get involved with the community. There's a form of traders out there that work with each other and communicate with each other. Hey, I'm looking at these stocks. I'm doing this. I'm looking at this strategy. Working together on their strategies to perfect them. Great community, and really the strength of CommandTRADE lies in our community. So a lot of stuff here in the software. Hopefully didn't throw too much at you too quickly, and it's a good starting point for you as a brand new CommandTRADE user.
Just what you went over today absolutely positively has to wet the whistle for folks that haven't seen CommandTRADE before, because it really is nothing short of phenomenal. Let me ask you a question before we run out of time, though. A couple of people have emailed in asking about the Charlene's strategies.
Sure. I have my own little spin. I know you guys saw Kevin Dixon and how he does that. Let me show you how I do it, all right? I'm going to go into our rule generator here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff that we don't need, okay? First and foremost, what do we need? Well, I need a good, solid, long-term trend, right? I need a good solid midterm trend. I need that fresh cross on the day. Those are going to be the lights I'm going to use for my Charlene's methodology.
Well, and just so everyone, I mean, for the folks that are asking about Charlene's strategies, if you go out on the community, which Derek just demonstrated, there are a bunch of Charlene type strategies out there, right?
Yeah, yes, there are. Everyone has their spin on it. Follow me into the rule generator here. Long-term, solid long-term trend, solid midterm trend, fresh cross on the short term. I'm going to go ahead and save this real quickly as my Charlene's. Okay, so now I'm done with my lights portion of the trading, or lights portion of the strategy. From here, you know what? What does Charlene want? She wants that solid 10. She wants that solid 2. Bottom left, top right-hand corner of the screen. Well, you know what? The way I interpret that is that towards the end of the day, the stock is printing new highs. You know, if your 10 is in the very top right-hand corner of your screen and your 2 is in the very top right-hand corner of your screen, towards the close, that means it's printing highs towards the close. So rather than trying to guess what the lights are going to look like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a function of the intraday high and say, hey, you know what? If towards the close, this thing's printing new highs, here it is, %H1, that's the percentage of the intraday high at 100. So if this thing's printing new highs and it's printing those new highs towards the close, and I have that solid long-term trend, and I have that solid midterm trend, I've got the fresh cross on the day, printing new highs at the close. What else do we need? Hey, we need some volume. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, you know what? The volume for our current 5-minute period of time is greater than 2 times the previous 5-minute period of time. So I've created, hey, it's printing highs at the close. I've created only trade towards the close, and then there's got to be volume pouring in. This is kind of my take on the Charlene's methodology. What you do from here is you bring it into the back test screen, give it an exit rule, and you've got yourself a Charlene strategy. Version 1 of that.
And do you know off the top of your head the name of a strategy on the community?
Oh, yeah.
For the Charlene?
Yeah, there's a handful of them. The one that's most commonly used is Kevin Dixon's, and I think it's the Mules Overnight Express, if I'm not mistaken, something to that extent. Join us in our WebEx sessions, and you'll see Kevin run them live right in front of you. You'll see those trades pop off, and then the next morning, you'll see how those things produced, if they produce results, and
all right,
they have been, no
doubt. Two quick questions for you in the waning seconds. Can you set the same strategy on multiple stocks at the same time?
Absolutely.
Okay. With your targeted trailing stop technology, I'm assuming I have to use your integrated broker to be able to get the targeted trailing stop. Is that correct?
Well, it's server-based, okay? So it's our technology that resides on our servers, but we can only send messages to integrated brokerage firms. Currently, we have Preferred Trade, Options Express. I would assume sometime down the road, we're going to see MB trading on the equity side as well.
All right. Derek, thank you very much. All right, hope you guys enjoyed that and got a lot out of it. And I guess you can call the office and find out more about CommandTRADE.
Sure. 888-348-0023. Got a great team of guys willing to help you out no matter what questions you have.
All right, that wraps it up for us here on WizeTRADE University. Thank you